Hello everyone, Indy here, or Indiora if you're into that. And by that I mean full names. So, I'm just gonna clear that because it bugs me. Anyway, as you can probably remember, last time we had built up a little bit of good habits when it comes to programming. And, not sure if you noticed, however, in the last program, in the information header, I had actually wrote Indoria instead of Indiora. Now, this just goes to show that not everyone is perfect, everyone makes mistakes. And really, everyone is I cannot speak, I am sorry. Everyone is susceptible to mistakes. No one is really above anyone else when it comes to that. We're all humans, we're all flawed, nobody's perfect, so don't get yourself down if you make a mistake. So, we are going to start up Visual Studio and get to this. So, as you can see, I do have Indy variable test right here. That is actually because I had recorded this before, however, I lost some of the footage whenever I was actually doing some of the programming here, due to my hotkeys being set to a not-so-smart place. So, we're just going to go with our console app. Well, yes, console application.net framework. Have Indy underscore variable test. The reason I am saving it under the same name is because I have deleted the project from my YT programs folder. Always remember, never replace the same solution and project in the same directory. Does cause some issues for you. And .NET Framework. I didn't talk about this last time, however, always make sure to stay at the latest one whenever you're doing these types of programs. You can go back to later versions, however, that's only if you really need to, and we will get back into that later. Now, since this is still technically a tutorial, we are in the tutorial section. However, later on, we will get to actual programs that I will show you how to do. So, we're going to create our project and get right into this. So, we just need to wait for it to load. Don't worry if it takes a while. Visual Studio is still a RAM-hungry piece of software, and it does take some time. So, don't forget your little header here. We have Indy variable test program. Here we have written in Visual Basic, written by Indy or Indiora. And then, last but not least, the date. So, written the 16th of May, 2021. Now you can use the short form if you wish. I just like using the long form. That's personal preference. And again, everything's up to personal preference. So, don't forget your remark. This program assigns a value to different variables and uses them in arithmetic operations. Now this is very baseline. It's quite simple, really. I will show you lots of different things here. A few of the arithmetic operators and other things. So first, we have our variables. Variables are a very, very, very important part of programming. Without a variable, there's not much you can do. And so, sorry about that, I was cracking my neck. And so, we start with our comment. We have variable declaration, and then we go on to declaring our variables. Now the way you would declare a variable in Visual Basic is dim. Now dim, you don't need to worry about asynchronous, constant, friend, private, public, all that stuff. We don't need to worry about that yet. We're not at that level in the tutorial yet. And so we have, say, number 1. And then you do as, and then your data type. So we're going to go with byte, and then we have dim number 2 as byte. Now make sure your capitals and lowercases are all in order because Visual Basic is a case-sensitive programming language. And now what case-sensitive means is, say you have number 1 with a capital at one point and number 1 without a capital at another, it's not going to be happy. And then finally we have dim result as byte. And here we will have value assignment, so we will be assigning values to our variables. We have number 1 equals, say, 19. You know what? No, we'll go with 15. Then number 2 equals 16. And then we have our arithmetic operation. We have number 1 plus number 2. Oh, sorry. So we have result equals number 1 plus number 2. And then, so we have our printing the value of the result variable. There we just have console.writeLine, our result. And then we have break in the program to show information to the viewer. We have our console.readLine function. And then, if we were to start this program, we should get 31. Now we won't get 31 because, as you can see, instead of using number 2 in our arithmetic operation, we used number 1. Now specifically, this is our addition arithmetic operation. However, we still did use number 1, and that would be considered a logic error, not a syntax error. Now, the logic error is when something is not what you were looking for. Say something is a 2 but actually registers as a 3, or you get the wrong output you were looking for. Now, one of the downsides of going really fast is potential logic errors, and the real nasty part of logic errors is the syntax doesn't pick up on them. It's not a syntax error, nothing's technically wrong with your program, it's just not what you're looking for, right? And so, now we have our good old trusty 31. So now a nicer way to show this would be your number 1 plus a string, and that string would be like this, and then to concatenate strings in Visual Basic you need end, and so you have end number 2, bring up your string again, space, and then end your result. And as you can see, right here, forgot an end. The syntax picks up on things like that, right? And so the reason we have spaces here, actually, is because if we didn't have those spaces, everything would be glued together, right? Now, whenever you're printing, it reads character by character. If you don't have those empty characters, you're not going to have any spaces in your programs. That will make stuff weird. And here, actually, it's not even a plus, it's an equal. Now, again, everyone makes mistakes, don't worry. I'm just doing these to show you that it's always a possibility, and you should never take it lightly whenever you're programming. Now, I say you shouldn't take it lightly as in it could mess with your program, but if you're making mistakes when you're first starting, or even when you're experienced in it, just always know, don't discourage yourself. You could work on your making mistakes, but technically you really don't even have to. Because again, a lot of programming is trial and error, right? And if it doesn't work, you just have to have that motivation to keep going. So, as you can see, we have our number 1. So this is just to make it nice, right? We have our number 1, and then actually we shouldn't even have a plus here. Have an end. Just to make it a little nicer. We have our number 1, and to concatenate them, then you have your strings, each of them having a plus, and then you have your result. So you hit start. Then here you have 15 plus 16 equals 31. Now the reason we have our spaces in between is because we actually added these spaces here. And now a neat little trick whenever you're making console applications, if you want them to make them look nice, console.foreground color equals console color dot. And as you can see, we have a lot of nice little colors here to choose from. We will go with magenta because purple happens to be my favorite color. And so we're going to start it again. And it changes the foreground color to purple. So that's a nice little thing here. Then we have subtraction, right? So if we add a minus here, you'll see we'll get an error because these bytes cannot actually go to -1. Right here, if you look at the documentation from the data type summary on Microsoft's official website, bytes can only go 0 through 255. But if you would look at, say, an integer, they can go to negatives, shorts can go to negatives, signed bytes can go to negatives. So I will be linking the data type summaries in the description, don't need to worry about that. And then you can look through the documentation yourself. So as you can see, if I hit start, it immediately crashes and we get a system overflow exception. It resulted in an overflow. Now an overflow means it is impossible with the data type we're using. However, if we have number 2 here and number 1 here, 16 minus 15 equals 1, we hit start, and we get equals 1. Now, the reason there's still a plus is because that is part of our string. So even if you just change one thing and get the value you're looking for, you still want your presentation to be nice, right? So 15 minus 16 equals 1. Say we have 15 and 15. We have our bar here, and what the bar signifies in Visual Basic is a division. And so we have 15 divided by 15 equals 1. Let's say we have 15 times 3. So you do number 2 star, number 1, and then a asterisk, or a star if you just want to be quick. (15 divided by 3 is 45. So basically, your plus is an addition, your minus is your subtraction, the bar is your division, and the asterisk is your multiplication. So I'm going to say thank you guys so much for watching. I will put this up on mega.nz. And yeah, that's really all we have for this video. Now, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Almost forgot that there. So you can help me reach a wider audience and share my knowledge with all of you. So thank you very much, and yeah, I'll see you next time.